Patina, Ruthless Dame also wider out. Ruthless Dame, another award steaming late. Ruthless Dame in front, another award. It's the 3-year-old filly, Ruthless Dame in the Sangster.
That was the winner of the last Robert Sangster Stakes, Ruthless Dame, a 3-year-old filly trained by Kieran Ma. Here we go again with another 3-year-old filly trained by Ma, the hot favourite at $2.90. But is the race that straightforward? Come with me as we do a deep dive into the Robert Sangster Stakes 2024. Let's get into this deep dive of the Robert Sangster and show you how we've ended up with our top rater and how we've ended up with these prices for the Robert Sangster Stakes on Saturday. It'll be a good track, the rail in the true I believe, and it's a very fair track. If you watch other Robert Sangster Stakes, good track, wet track, rail true, even rail out 3 metres. They do tend to come out off the fence a little bit in the rail true. They like to come out maybe 2 to 3 metres, and maybe that's why they put the rail out 3 at times. But you can lead and win in this race, and you can storm down the outside, giving every horse a good chance. Here, if you look at the sheet, we've got the horses' names, their ages, their sex. They're all mares here today. Jockey, how many runs in prep, who's the top rater on raw figures, their weight, and then after their weight, who's the top rater, how far off are they? And then we've got here, you can see our bonuses and penalties. And once that's in play, who have we got as our top raters? And with that, with their margins and how far they're off the top rater, we can allocate pricing off that. And that's how we get our pricing. We've got the winner head price here on the left, and on the right we've got the market, what the bookmakers have got at the moment, their price. With that, you can see we've got a green colour, an orange and a red. Green colour means it's one of our top rated horses and its value. It's close, either equal, close to our price or more. Orange means they're not in our top 3-4 selections, but we have got them a certain distance off the horse and off our top rater, and they are value. So therefore, if we wanted to put a little bit of money, have a saver bet, or if you like this horse, you're connected and there's something that gravitating into this horse, even though Winner Head doesn't have the top 3 or 4, we're telling you that this horse is a good price and value. And if you're betting value, you should finish in front in the end. Red means we think that they're badly undervalued, and we don't want to play these horses at all. And even as you can see, we've got Estriella, our top pick here, and she's in the red because we've priced her, even though she's our top rater, priced her $5. She's $2.90 in the market. That's 2 points off. It's just too far. So we've got her in the red as a non-playing option. Let's get into this race and go runner by runner, because I think some of you want to, interested in this race, interested in a lot of these horses, and want to know, in detail how we ended up with these horses on top and why we don't like them maybe. Zapateo, it ran in this race in the Sangster and ran a cracking race, was probably a bit unlucky, and then went in the Goodwood, which can be even stronger race, and was quite unlucky there. If you take away her last prep, where she went off the ball for first up run, this is a very good horse in really good form, drawn barrier 3. Jamie Carr is going to have her right there, and I think she's really hard to beat. We've got her half a length off our top rater. Priced her at $7.50. But we could even have priced her a little bit less. Let's go to I and Me, Blake Shin. Again, they've drawn very close together, these two horses, barrier 2 and 3. You got two jockeys, good judgment, that are going to be, their car's got the advantage of being outside of Blake Shin and maybe holding him in a bit. Depends where they're going to go in the run. I believe both horses are going to be just off the pace. And she's our top rater. She's run some big races behind Impurities. I just wish she was a length closer last start to Impurities, then I'd really be keen on it. But it was a first up run. It's 5 weeks between runs. And I'm sure Mars got her ready to peak here today. Passive Aggressive. Passive Aggressive is our top rater before penalties. That run was when she beat Don Eduardo and Giga Kick. You can understand why the ratings have her on top. But that was over 1,000 metres and it was a while ago. 1,200, she has won. I don't think it's going to be a problem, 1,200. But we have penalised it just half a length. We've penalised our half a length for Charles. And we end up 1 1/4 lengths off our top rider. We've priced her $11. And I think we've priced her fairly harsh here. And the market's got her $12. So if you're a passive aggressive fan, I think there's a good bet at the $12. Because we also want to forgive her for second up. She came, there's 2 horses here that came after a year break, ran well first up, and it was a bit flat second up. We generally don't mind a horse second up, but after 1 year spell and performing really well, as passive aggressive did, it actually beat Zapateo. So, we can't have her that far off. She's drawn pretty on the inside as well. So Zapateo was out in front that day in a sitting duck. So we still think Zapateo might have the edge on her, but we're clutching at straws. So $12 passive aggressive. If you like that, don't be shy to have a bet. Now let's go to 4 Benedetta. We've got a huge difference in the market here. We don't like her for a few things. She's drawn barrier 1. So we've penalised her on the map. We've penalised her for the jockey, trainer. And we've penalised her for a rating in the prep. We don't like this setup at all. It was a big win last start. We actually think she should have came into the race fresh. But, Jason Warren might know his horse. But the fact she's drawn 1, she's going to get back. Going to be a little bit more dour, not being as fresh off that last run. Won't sprint as well when the sprint goes on. And she's got to get past Zapateo and I and Me. We've penalised her. We don't have her. We have her 2 lengths off the top rating passive aggressive. And with these penalties, we end up 3 lengths off the top rater. So we've priced her $40 and the market's got her $7.50. So look, we think she's well under the odds, Benedetta, even though she's quite popular. It was to our surprise we priced her that, but we need to price off these ratings and how we see the preparation. We might have got this terribly wrong, but that's not a play for us. It's not a setup for us. Even though, don't get us wrong, if you like Benedetta, she's a really good horse, but this setup is not right for her. Roots. Roots, we only got a length. She's got the ability to be right there in the finish. We've only got a length off the finish. But again, we've penalised her a length for the distance and a length for the rating where she is in this prep. In the end of the day, 1,200 metres is not a go. So and that's really clear. So we've penalised her a length there. Second to that, even though Waller's given her the 5-6 week break, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to keep her as fresh as possible, but she won't be as fresh as the first up run. So we've penalised another length for that, and we think that she's going to run really well here. Her first up one was a cracker. Really looking forward to this horse going to Queensland and stepping up in distance, that's when we're going to get excited. We can understand why she's in this race. And like I said, Waller's played this really smart and she's coming off a first up run. But you can only do so much. The horse is the horse. And we've priced her $25 and the market's got her 14. So we've been a bit harsh. So this Benedetta and Roots, the prep and where they are, we've been harsh on them, but the market hasn't been as harsh and they're keeping a little bit safer. We don't think they're good bets on Saturday. Scuif, look, I won't spend too much time on this horse. A length off for track and distance because her big run was 1400 Flemington. She's out of form. We don't like the setup. We don't like it too much. Climbing Star, we had a good look at this horse in really good form and comes in with good form, but the ratings just don't have her good enough. And in the end of the day, even though she was a bit held up, she could have finished closer to Benedetta. If she was really good, she would have still, we believe, got closer or maybe even won that race. We don't think that's the form of the race. Same with Lampica. We don't think she's good enough. Wonderful Tonight. Wonderful Tonight. We've got a 2.5 lengths off the top rater. This is a really interesting horse. If you don't remember this horse first up over 1200 metres, ran a good third, was very unlucky behind Zuzella, and what do you know, Zapateo. This horse was trained by Hawks, showed a lot of ability, had 3 runs in Australia before it had a bleed, and then went to NZ. And its form in NZ has been pretty solid, even running 0.8 lengths in a Group 1. Coming off a heavy track win, which I don't know if heavy track suits her. She could be a good track horse. She's coming off a good win in New Zealand. Might not look good enough here, but this is our amendable. Last week we found it hard to line up an amendable. We said we think he might run a big race. He almost won the race at 40-1. This is our amendable this week. Wonderful Tonight. Really hard to line it up. I don't believe she'll win, but she could run a place. Look, she could even win. We've priced her $25. Market's got $125. She's well over the odds. So if you put really little money on this horse and have a huge collect, we don't know what she's going to do, but that's the point. We don't know what she's going to do, and she's 125-1. So worth a bit of thought there. Snapped, we don't think Snap's good enough either. Waltz on by, again, a little bit like Roots, wants the 1600, but this horse is showing a lot more toes coming off a good win. Again, like Waller, Moody, they know their horses. They know which horses need to back up, which horses need to come in fresh, depending on their aerobic behaviour. So Waltz on Boy's had that gap. Moody's no idiot. He knows what he's doing. He's going to have this horse peak. This horse coming off a really good win over the 1200 metres. And although we got a 2 lengths off the winner, the market must have a much longer than that, because Winner Head's priced at $15 and she's 60-1 in the market. She's come back really well. I think the market's judging on the Waltz on by old form, and their 3-year-old form to 4-year-old can change. A 3-year-old filly can lose form as a 4-year-old mare, or they can improve. Just on Waltz on by's 2 runs, we think she's improved. She's improving as an older mare. So we want to keep her safe at the $15, and the market's got her at 16. Let's go to Estriella. We've got her as a top rater, half a length before off our top rater, but once the penalties come in place, she ends up on top. We've priced her $5. She's $2.90. I think she's priced with the hype. There's a lot of unknown here. This is a Group 1. Although we don't think this race, there's a lot of pace, they're mainly back markers, There's still a different type of pressure. In the mid-race, Me, Zapateo, Khan, Shin, going to go a certain clip. Estriella hasn't felt that pressure, and she's going to have to absorb that pressure in the mid-race and then be strong enough to finish off. She might be good enough. We've got her as top rater, but this is a big jump from a listed race to a Group 1. It's a different thing chasing imperatives and those type of horses. Passive Aggressive's got a win over Don Eduardo and Giga Kick. This is different. This is going to be her test. We're going to know how good she is after Saturday. Also, she's deeper in the prep. She's had 3-4 weeks between every run. So we don't think she's going to be gassed, but at the same time, it's only her second prep, and now she's going for a 4th win in a row, stepping up into a Group 1. That's a big ask, but we still have her on top. But you can see why, as an analyst, we don't want to dive in to the 290. Learning to Fly. This horse, we believe, has got as much as ability as Estriella. This was a big gun 2-year-old filly. She had a year off, and like Passive Aggressive, had a big run first up. Her run first up was really big. If you get the video out, as we did, had a good look and assessed that first up run, it was a huge run. We really like that. We think that run's going to be good enough to win this. And we understand her second up run, as she stepped up to 1400, she was gassed. She wasn't beaten that far either, within 2 lengths. So I think that was good enough. Annabelle Neesham is giving this horse an 8-week break, really smart. With that 8-week break, after that long spell, after that first up run, we think she's really going to sprint well fresh. We give Learning to Fly huge chance, only a length off the winner. And we've priced her $8 and she's 14. Stretton Angel, we think she'll run a good race. We don't think she's good enough. We've got her 2.5 lengths off the winner. The prep, everything looks alright. So she ends up 2 lengths off the top rater. We've priced her $15, but she's in the red because the market's got her 10. I don't think she's as good as the other 2 fillies, Estriella and Learning to Fly. So I can't see how you should have her $10 in the market. And of course, we think she's got to beat these hardened mares, Me, Zapateo, and even Passive Aggressive to a point. Alright, we hope you understand how we've came to this market. We hope this helps you if you want to have a bet. These horses in the red, we think you should wait for another race for these horses. And Estriella, even though it could be her race, we think she's under the odds, and in the long run, even though you back Estriella on Saturday, and she might win, you keep taking these sort of odds, you're not going to finish in front in the long run. Good luck and good punting, and I'll see you next week for the other Group 1. Thanks, guys. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.